Welcome back to the Budget Gamer channel, where we bring you critical and in-depth reviews of just about every indie game we can get our hands on, and today we're going to be taking a look at The Office Quest for the Nintendo Switch. And The Office Quest, if you've heard anything about it, or even if you've just seen the cover imagery, is a pretty obvious satire of everything that's related to office life or cubicle work. And it really won't take very long at all for anyone who's ever even been near an office to engage with this little point-and-click adventure and get some pretty good laughs out of it. The story, though, as with most point-and-click adventures, or most adventure games in general, isn't necessarily spelled out. We meet our main character, and clicking anywhere in the screen prompts him to get up from his desk, where he's quickly yelled at to sit back down and get back to work. And so the first portion of our office quest is merely to find our way out of our office. And the only thing that we really do know is that our main character should probably follow the little red orb that he saw shoot off the screen. Following our little red Tinkerbell, though, our main character finds himself in all sorts of comically ridiculous situations. And as a point-and-click adventure, you're going to need to find certain actionable items to be able to unlock certain situational puzzles to push the game forward. But as ridiculous as the game's imagery is, the gameplay is also pretty equally suited. And while this might provide the player with a couple of casual laughs and some comical situations, it will try certain players to find out exactly what they're supposed to do or how certain items are supposed to be used. As you progress through the game's 4 chapters, every single situation you engage in will get more and more ridiculous as you go, and you'll need to click on just about everything to figure out what can or can't be used. But unlike certain more typical mainstream point-and-click adventures, you'll also have to click on certain characters or certain items or certain situational objects multiple times in order to actually action them enough to get the result that you want. And though this is spelled out pretty straightforward in the early game chapters with a fan that has multiple blower settings, the trend of needing to click on things multiple times to get them to engage in the right way will stay pretty staple for the rest of the game. And while the point-and-click puzzles will provide some ridiculous diversity and challenge your lateral thinking, that's not all the game has to offer. Office Quest is also full of brain teasers and IQ test-style mind puzzles, as well as certain mini-games that you'll have to be able to triumph over and navigate your way past to find your way to the next chapter. So while the point-and-click adventure itself is definitely going to test your creativity and lateral thinking, all of the mini-games and other style puzzles are really going to push you to the ends of your critical thinking. So if you're getting ready to invest in the Office adventure because it seems like a witty and quirky point-and-click adventure, get ready for some of those mental checks because some can get pretty frustrating. Overall, though, it is a clever and challenging game, and as I said earlier, every note in the Office Quest is meant to be a satire of office life, and that also comes through in its visuals. Whether it's through the comical onesies that every single character in the game is wearing, or just the situations that you engage in, everything seems to be completely ridiculous. But no matter how crazy or off the wall the situation gets, everything's rendered as though it is just dull and boring. And this also gives the player a little bit of an incentive to chase down the only thing that they see with color, which is that little red dot. Additionally, the game's soundtrack is pretty on point for what it is and definitely doesn't distract from gameplay. All characters, if they have a speaking part, are voiced over, though it is in nonsensical language, so that again doesn't distract the player from needing to engage in rational, critical, or lateral thinking in order to keep abreast of exactly what the situation is that they're in. And while I can definitely respect this game for both its comedy and satire, as well as its need for critical thinking, there are a few things that a player might want to know before they dive in. First and foremost being something that we've already talked a little bit about, which is the fact that this game isn't exactly a point-and-click adventure. It's housed within the shell of a point-and-click adventure, but most of the puzzles that you'll be engaging in are mini-games and critical thinking puzzles and brain teasers and other sort of almost IQ test puzzles. Besides the puzzles, the game also shifts genres at times from a point-and-click adventure to a small mini-game platformer. So anyone who's engaging with a game just for a quirky fun adventure might really be put off by how much time and investment they'll actually have to put into the game to get through to the next chapter. So if you are the type of gamer that really doesn't enjoy platforming, there's really no way to move past this certain point, and you might have to get somebody else to help you. And so while I don't think that any of these things are necessarily game-breaking, and they definitely didn't make the game unenjoyable for me, because I really thought it was pretty fun, they do possibly open the genre of point-and-click adventure a little too wide for people who just like point-and-clicks. And some of the puzzles are a little too cerebral for someone who might want to enjoy it just as a goofy adventure. And so, long story short, to truly enjoy the game, you might have to be a gamer with a pretty diversified gaming background. But as it is a fun game, and I generally welcome challenges in games like this, for just a couple bucks, especially while it's on sale, it's definitely worth the price. If you are a fan of point-and-click adventures, it will definitely take you a little bit outside of your comfort zone, but that doesn't mean it's not worth playing. But anyway, that does about wrap up the review of the Office Quest now on the Nintendo Switch, so if you enjoyed the review, or especially if you found it helpful, feel free to throw me a comment or a like to show your support. And don't forget to click that little bell icon when you subscribe to stay updated with the latest content, because there are new and unique indies coming out literally every single day, so there's always going to be some new game to find out about right here. But if you want to get more involved with the channel, we also have a Twitter account as well as Instagram and even a Discord if you want to talk to some of your fellow gamers. But anyway, this has been Budget Gamer, so as always, thanks for watching.